Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will dive into the thrilling updates and jaw-dropping twists awaiting us in Port Charles on Tuesday, April 29th, 2025. From simmering suspicions to clandestine conversations, unexpected alliances, and risky undercover missions, the drama is set to explode on our screens. Let's unpack the intricate tapestry of relationships and secrets that define this beloved soap opera, with fresh perspectives, expanded narratives, and intriguing new layers added to the lives of our favorite characters. Anna Devane 6 Growing Suspicions. In the heart of Port Charles, Anna Devane, the ever-vigilant former spy turned police commissioner, finds herself wrestling with a nagging sense of unease. Her instincts, honed over years of navigating danger, are buzzing with suspicion as she uncovers subtle clues pointing to a hidden agenda among some of the town's most prominent figuras. Perhaps it's a cryptic exchange she overhears at the Metro Court, or a fleeting glance between unlikely allies that sets her on edge. Anna, with her sharp mind and unyielding determination, begins piecing together a puzzle that could unravel long-buried secrets. Could her suspicions tie into the shadowy dealings of a familiar face, or is there a new player in town stirring the pot? As she digs deeper, Anna might find herself walking a tightrope between protecting those she loves and exposing a truth that could shake the foundations of Port Charles. Tracy Quartermain's shocking revelation to Gio. Meanwhile, the indomitable Tracy Quartermain takes center stage as she corners Giovanni Gio Palmieri with a bombshell about none other than Sonny Corinthos. Known for her razor-sharp tongue and knack for wielding information like a weapon, Tracy delivers intel so staggering that it leaves young Gio reeling. Could this revelation involve a dark chapter from Sonny's past, perhaps a betrayal or a hidden alliance that even his closest confidants are unaware of? Picture Tracy, with a glint of mischief in her eye, leaning in close at the Quartermain mansion, her voice dripping with gravitas as she warns Gio about the dangerous web surrounding Sonny. This isn't just gossip, it's a seismic shift that could alter Gio's perception of the mob boss forever. Tracy's motives remain murky. Is she protecting her family's interests, or does she have a personal score to settle with Sonny? Whatever her reasons, this moment marks a turning point for Gio as he grapples with the weight of what he's learned. Jason Morgan steps protective warning. Hot on the heels of Tracy's disclosure, Jason Morgan steps in with a stern word of caution for Gio. As Sonny's loyal right-hand man, Jason's rugged demeanor hides a deep well of concern for those caught in the crosshairs of Port Charles's underbelly. In a dimly lit corner of Kelly's diner, Jason pulls Gio aside, his piercing gaze conveying the gravity of the situation. Forget what you heard, he might growl, his tone laced with an unspoken threat not of violence, but of the consequences that come with knowing too much. Jason, ever the protector, likely sees Gio as an innocent bystander who could be dragged into a storm far beyond his control. Perhaps he recounts a vague anecdote from his own past, a time when knowledge became a burden too heavy to bear, as a way to underscore his point. This interaction paints a vivid picture of Jason's internal conflict, balancing his loyalty to Sonny with his desire to shield Gio from a world of danger. Marco Rios and Lucas Jones draw closer. On a lighter note, a tender connection blossoms between Marco Rios and Lucas Jones, offering a breath of fresh air amidst the tension. The two find themselves sharing quiet moments, perhaps over coffee at a cozy cafe on the outskirts of town, where their conversations drift from casual banter to something deeper. Marco, with his warm smile and genuine curiosity, seems to draw out a side of Lucas that's been buried under years of heartbreak and hospital chaos. Maybe they bond over shared memories of simpler times, or confide in each other about their dreams for the future. Marco aspiring to open a community center, and Lucas yearning for a balance between his career and personal life. Their growing closeness hints at a potential romance, a spark that could either heal old wounds or ignite new complications in a town where love often comes with a price. Drew sits confrontation with Portia. Over at General Hospital, the atmosphere crackles with intensity as Drew Kane corners Dr. Portia Robinson in her office. The air grows heavy as Drew, his expression a storm of frustration and determination, looms over Portia, who appears visibly shaken behind her desk. His words cut like a knife as he issues an ultimatum: comply with his demands or face the consequences of Curtis Ashford learning a devastating truth. Perhaps Drew is holding a secret about a medical decision Portia made under pressure, or maybe it's tied to a personal indiscretion she's desperate to keep hidden. As Portia's hands tremble while clutching a patient chart, the stakes couldn't be higher. Later, her heart sinks when she stumbles upon Curtis and Jordan Ashford in a heated discussion, likely about the dangerous Sidwell situation plaguing the town. With Nina Reeves already scheming against Drew in the background, Portia prays that this web of deceit doesn't ensnare her further. The rumor mill also buzzes with whispers that Drew will cause a public spectacle, amplifying the chaos and putting Portia's carefully guarded secrets at risk of exposure. Jocelyn sits bold play for ambition. Elsewhere, Jocelyn Jacks unleashes her charm in a daring bid to secure a coveted spot as Dalton's research assistant. Under pressure from her mentor Vaughn to stand out, Jocelyn transforms into a vision of confidence at a crowded bar near campus. With a playful toss of her golden hair and a mischievous glint in her eye, she sidles up to Professor Dalton, her voice dripping with flirtatious intent as she inquires about ways to boost her chances. Unbeknownst to Jocelyn, Dalton's apparent admiration for her rival, Emma Scorpio Drake, might stem from academic prowess rather than personal interest, adding a layer of irony to Jocelyn's efforts. Picture the scene, the bar's neon lights reflecting in her hopeful eyes as she laughs a little too loudly at Dalton's dry humor, determined to leave an impression. Will her bold move pay off, or is she playing a dangerous game that could jeopardize her integrity and relationships? Jordan Sepp's dangerous undercover mission. Jordan Ashford, a powerhouse in law enforcement, steps into the lion's den as she embeds herself in the orbit of the nefarious Sidwell. With her unparalleled skills and steely resolve, Jordan seizes an opportunity when Sidwell shows interest in her, using it as a gateway to infiltrate his operation. Beneath her confident exterior lies a calculated mission to gather critical intel on this dangerous figure who threatens the safety of Port Charles. Perhaps she's posing as a potential business partner, attending clandestine meetings in shadowy warehouses, all while memorizing every detail to report back. Jordan's past as an undercover operative fuels her belief that she's the perfect person to dismantle Sidwell's empire, but danger lurks at every turn. In a tense exchange with Curtis, she brushes off his concerns with a defiant smirk, asserting that the real question isn't whether she can handle Sidwell, but whether he can handle her. Yet, both Curtis and Isaiah Gannon can't shake their worry, knowing that one wrong move could cost Jordan everything. Wrapping up the drama, as the curtains draw on another tumultuous day in Port Charles, the tangled threads of suspicion, secrets, and ambition weave a narrative that keeps us on the edge of our seats. From Anna's relentless pursuit of truth to Tracy and Jason's protective maneuvers, from budding connections to high-stakes confrontations, and daring gambits to undercover heroics, General Hospital delivers a masterclass in drama. What will Anna uncover in her quest? How will Gio handle the burden of Tracy's revelation? Can Portia navigate Drew's threats without losing everything? Will Jocelyn's charm offensive lead to triumph or trouble? And most importantly, can Jordan outsmart Sidwell before it's too late? Tune in tomorrow to see how these stories unfold, as the heartbeat of Port Charles continues to pulse with intrigue and passion. Next, we will unravel the intricate web of secrets and deception surrounding Molly Lansing Davis, Christina Corinthos Davis, and the mysterious commitment papers that have fallen into unexpected hands. In Port Charles, where every action seems laced with hidden motives, this latest development promises to ignite family tensions, test loyalties, and expose long-buried truths. Join us as we delve deeper into this unfolding drama, reimagining the key moments with fresh details, expanded narratives, and intriguing twists that add layers to the already complex relationships of our beloved characters. The curious case of the commitment papers. In a town where coincidences are rarely just that, Molly Lansing Davis finds herself in possession of a set of highly sensitive documents commitment papers pertaining to her sister, Christina Corinthos Davis. The circumstances of this acquisition are nothing short of a theatrical mishap reminiscent of a slapstick comedy gone wrong. Picture the chaotic scene in Rick Lansing's hospital room at General Hospital. Papers flutter through the air like confetti as Diane Miller, the sharp-witted attorney, collides with Molly in an uncharacteristic display of clumsiness. Amidst the flurry, briefcases are swapped and folders are jumbled, leaving Molly clutching a manila envelope that holds explosive potential. But was this truly an accident? Or does the polished Diane have a hidden agenda? Perhaps the hospital corridor was unusually crowded that day, with nurses bustling and visitors weaving through, creating the perfect storm for such a mix-up or a carefully orchestrated handover. The weight of these papers in Molly's hands is more than physical. It's a ticking time bomb that could detonate family dynamics in ways no one saw coming. Diane Miller sets questionable maneuver. Diane Miller, known for her impeccable professionalism and graceful poise, is not one to stumble literally or figuratively. Yet, in this peculiar instance, her actions raise eyebrows. Before the collision, Diane had been explicitly instructed by Alexis Davis, Christina's fiercely protective mother, to destroy the commitment papers that could spell doom for Christina's freedom. Instead, Diane defies the order with a calculated air of defiance, slipping the documents into a manila envelope labeled Davis in her elegant cursive. This act occurs under the watchful eyes of Marco Rios, a hospital staffer who accidentally glimpses the contents during a routine chart delivery. Diane, quick to assert control, fixes him with a steely gaze over her designer glasses, warning him to keep silent about what he's seen, her tone a blend of authority and urgency. Perhaps she tucks the envelope into her sleek leather bag with a fleeting smirk, already envisioning the next steps of her clandestine plan. The question lingers, was her supposed clumsiness in Rick's room a genuine blunder, or did she engineer this collision with Molly, knowing the hospital's busy atmosphere would provide plausible deniability? Diane's history of strategic brilliance suggests the latter, painting her as a puppet master pulling strings from the shadows. A plan to sidestep betrayal. Delving deeper into Diane's motivations, it becomes clear that her actions are driven by a complex blend of loyalty and pragmatism. As Alexis's trusted confidant and legal counsel, Diane walks a tightrope between honoring her friend's wishes and doing what she believes is right for Christina's well-being. Perhaps late at night in her dimly lit office, surrounded by towering law books and a half-empty coffee cup, Diane wrestles with her conscience. She knows Alexis is too emotionally entangled to make the tough call. Committing Christina to professional help might be the lifeline she desperately needs. By ensuring the papers reach Molly through an accidental swap, Diane absolves herself of direct betrayal. Her hands remain ostensibly clean. Imagine her plotting this subterfuge with meticulous care, choosing Rick's hospital room as the stage because she anticipated Molly's visit to check on their father. Diane might rationalize this as a necessary evil, believing that sometimes protecting a friend means taking risks they can't stomach themselves. Her graceful demeanor, usually a shield, becomes a tool to mask the calculated nature of her actions, leaving us to wonder just how far she's willing to go to save Christina from herself. Molly sits possession and the unanswered questions. Now that the commitment papers are in Molly's grasp, the spotlight shifts to her reaction and the puzzle she must solve. Rushing to Christina with the envelope clutched tightly, Molly's mind likely races with confusion and concern, her legal instincts kicking into high gear. The documents, stark in black and white, hint at a dire situation, yet the reasons behind Alexis's drastic consideration of commitment remain shrouded in mystery. Perhaps Molly sits with Christina at a quiet corner of the Metro Court lounge, the hum of conversation around them a stark contrast to the gravity of their discussion. She might press Christina for answers, her voice trembling with a mix of sisterly worry and frustration, while Christina's evasions only deepen the enigma. Unbeknownst to Molly, Diane harbors a quiet hope that she will connect the dots, unearthing the harrowing truth that Christina's actions may have triggered the catastrophic car crash that injured Rick Lansing and Elizabeth Baldwin, an incident potentially intended for Ava Jerome. The weight of this revelation, if uncovered, could shatter the fragile bonds of the Davis family, and Molly's journey to truth is fraught with emotional landmines waiting to detonate. Diane sips hopes and potential pitfalls. Diane's intricate plan, while clever, is far from foolproof. She envisions Molly as the key to unlocking the intervention Christina so desperately needs, hoping that once the full scope of Christina's involvement in the crash comes to light, Molly can persuade Alexis to take decisive action. Picture Diane pacing her office after hours, the city lights of Port Charles glittering through her window, as she mentally rehearses how Molly might approach this delicate conversation. Yet, the road to resolution is paved with obstacles. What if Molly misinterprets the papers, or hesitates to confront the painful reality of her sister's culpability? There's also the risk that Christina, cornered by accusation, might lash out, driving a deeper wedge between the sisters. Additionally, other players in Port Charles like Ava Jerome, who may have her own suspicions about the crash, could complicate matters by stirring the pot with their agendas. Diane's gamble hinges on Molly's perceptiveness and courage, but in a town where secrets rarely stay buried, unexpected snags could unravel her carefully laid scheme. The moral dilemma and unresolved mysteries. As this saga unfolds, the moral quandary at its heart becomes ever more tangled. Was Diane's orchestration of the paper swap a stroke of genius or a betrayal cloaked in good intentions? Her belief in saving Christina by bypassing Alexis's denial paints her as both a savior and a schemer, a duality that defines many in Port Charles. Perhaps Diane reflects on past cases where she bent the rules for a greater good, drawing parallels to this moment as she sips a glass of wine alone, lost in thought. Meanwhile, the question of whether Molly will unearth the chilling truth about Christina's role in the crash hangs heavy. Will she piece together the fragmented clues, the timing of the accident, whispered rumors about Ava's enemies, and Christina's erratic behavior? And if so, can she muster the strength to push for help, even at the cost of family harmony? These unresolved threads weave a narrative of suspense that promises to keep viewers glued to their screens. Closing thoughts on Port Charles intrigue. As the drama intensifies in Port Charles, the saga of the commitment papers serves as a microcosm of the town's endless cycle of secrets, loyalties, and moral gray areas. From Diane's covert maneuvers to Molly's quest for clarity and the shadowed truth about Christina's actions, every twist pulls us deeper into the emotional labyrinth of the Davis family. Was the collision in Rick's room truly a fluke or Diane's masterstroke? Will Molly decipher the heartbreaking reality behind the papers? And if she does, what will it cost her? Next, we will immerse ourselves in the electrifying twists and turns of Port Charles as we head into the high-octane May sweeps. With heart-pounding drama, shocking schemes, and deeply personal struggles, this week promises to keep viewers on the edge of their seats. From Nina Reeves' cunning trap for Drew Cain to Christina Corinthos Davis's spiraling mental health crisis and Sonny Corinthos' life-altering surgery, the stakes have never been higher. Let's dive into the reimagined and expanded storylines, weaving in fresh details and vibrant new elements to bring the soap opera magic to life. May Sweeps, a storm of high-stakes drama. As May Sweeps kick off, Port Charles becomes a cauldron of intense emotions and explosive confrontations, with every storyline cranked up to maximum impact. The town buzzes with anticipation, as if the very streets from the docks to the Metro Court can sense the impending chaos. This week, General Hospital pulls out all the stops, delivering narratives that tug at heartstrings and ignite long-simmering conflicts. Whether it's a calculated act of revenge, a desperate plea for help, or a medical crisis shrouded in secrecy, each plotline carries the weight of life-altering consequences. Imagine the whispered conversations in Kelly's diner, where locals speculate about the latest scandals, or the tense silences in hospital corridors as characters brace for what's to come. May Sweeps isn't just a television event, it's a roller coaster of raw human drama that promises to leave an indelible mark on fans, setting the stage for revelations that could reshape relationships and destinies in ways no one can predict. Nina Reeves' set devious trap for Drew Cain. At the forefront of this week's intrigue is Nina Reeves, whose thirst for vengeance against Drew Cain reaches a chilling new level. The history between these two is a tangled web of passion and betrayal, marked by a recent fling that soured when Nina discovered Drew's dalliance with her daughter Willow Tate. With Willow away in Germany tending to Michael Corinthos at a specialized burn clinic, Nina seizes the moment to strike. Picture her in a dimly lit back room of a seedy bar on the outskirts of Port Charles, her eyes glittering with cold determination as she hands a small, unmarked vial to a mysterious woman, perhaps a down-on-her-luck escort hired for the job. The teaser footage hints at a sinister plot. Is the vial filled with a sedative, a truth serum, or something even more dangerous? Nina's plan might involve staging a compromising situation to frame Drew, capturing photographic evidence to blackmail him into submission. Her manicured fingers might tremble slightly as she finalizes the deal, revealing a flicker of doubt beneath her icy exterior. Will this trap finally bring Drew to his knees, or will Nina's scheme backfire, ensnaring her in a mess of her own making? Christina sits Descent and Alexis sits Desperate Measure. Meanwhile, Christina Corinthos Davis grapples with a harrowing emotional spiral following the tragic loss of the baby she carried as a surrogate for her sister, Molly Lansing Davis. The grief has fractured her psyche, leading to erratic behavior that alarms those closest to her. In a poignant act of defiance, Christina renames the baby, disregarding Molly's chosen name, as if clinging to a piece of the child she can still control. Her mental state plummets further, culminating in a vengeful act, tampering with a car's brake lines in a bid to harm Ava Jerome. Instead, the sabotage injures Rick Lansing and Elizabeth Baldwin, adding guilt to her already burdened conscience. Perhaps late at night, alone in her apartment, surrounded by baby mementos, Christina stares blankly into the void, haunted by the sound of screeching tires in her nightmares. Alexis Davis, her fiercely protective mother, can no longer stand by as her daughter unravels. In a gut-wrenching decision, Alexis commissions legal documents to commit Christina to a mental health facility, believing it's the only way to save her. But when Christina stumbles upon these papers maybe hidden in a drawer at Alexis's office, the confrontation is inevitable. The preview clip captures a charged clash, with Christina's voice breaking as she demands answers under the flickering light of a living room lamp. Will this moment of truth push Christina toward healing or drive her further into despair? Sonny Corinthos' secret surgery and surprise visitor. Across town, Sonny Corinthos faces a battle of a different kind, one that threatens his very life. A severe heart condition, kept hidden from his family to shield them from worry, leads to an urgent open-heart surgery this week. The stoic mob boss confides only in his ex-wife, Carly Spencer, whose unwavering loyalty compels her to stand by his side. Imagine the tense drive to Los Angeles for the procedure, Carly gripping the wheel while casting worried glances at a pale, stoic Sonny in the passenger seat. Accompanying them is Brick, Sonny's trusted security expert, whose gruff exterior masks a deep concern as he oversees logistics at the hospital, ensuring no threats loom during this vulnerable time. Rumors swirl among fans that this storyline might signal the end for Sonny, with whispers of actor Maurice Benard's potential retirement from General Hospital. Adding to the suspense, ABC executive Nathan Varney hints at an unexpected visitor from Sonny's past appearing during Monday's episode. Could it be a long-lost associate from his early mob days, or a forgotten love returning to offer solace? Perhaps this mystery guest arrives at the hospital with a weathered photo or a cryptic message, stirring memories Sonny thought were buried. Viewers will be glued to their screens to uncover who steps out of the shadows and what their return means for Sonny's future. A brewing scandal in Port Charles. Beyond the personal crises of Christina and Sonny, a broader scandal simmers beneath the surface of Port Charles, threatening to engulf multiple families in its wake. Whispers of deceit and hidden motives echo through the town's social circles, from the elite gatherings at the Quartermain mansion to the gritty underbelly of the docks. While details remain scarce, the air crackles with tension, hinting at revelations that could expose betrayals or unearth skeletons long tucked away in closets. Perhaps a cryptic conversation overheard at the Port Charles Grill between two seemingly unrelated characters sparks curiosity, or an anonymous tip sent to the local paper sets tongues wagging. This scandal, intertwined with Nina's vendetta against Drew, adds a layer of unpredictability to the week's events. It might involve a shady business deal gone wrong, or a personal secret that, if revealed, could shatter alliances. As May sweeps unfold, this brewing storm serves as a reminder that in Port Charles, no one is immune to the fallout of buried truths, and every smile hides a potential dagger waiting to strike. The emotional core of May sweeps. At the heart of this week's General Hospital episodes lies a profound exploration of human struggle and resilience. Christina's battle with grief and mental instability showcases the raw pain of loss, amplified by the unintended consequences of her actions. Sonny's health crisis, shrouded in secrecy, reflects the burden of leadership and the fear of vulnerability, even as he leans on Carly for strength. Nina's calculated revenge plot, meanwhile, underscores the destructive power of betrayal and the lengths one will go to restore a sense of control. Each storyline, painted with vivid new strokes, captures the essence of soap opera drama where love, hate, and desperation collide in spectacular fashion. Imagine the collective breath-holding of Port Charles residents as news of Sonny's surgery leaks, or the quiet tears shed in hospital waiting rooms over Christina's plight. May Sweeps isn't just about shock value, it's about peeling back the layers of these complex characters to reveal the beating, often broken hearts beneath. Anticipation for what sits next. As we brace for the unfolding drama of May Sweeps, the questions pile up like storm clouds over Port Charles. Will Nina's trap snare Drew, or will her scheme implode, leaving her vulnerable to counterattacks? Can Christina find the help she needs before her actions cause irreversible harm? And will Alexis's tough love bridge the gap between mother and daughter? Is Sonny's surgery the end of an era, or will the mysterious visitor from his past offer a lifeline or a new threat? And what lurks within the brewing scandal that threatens to upend the town's fragile balance?